So if you follow me on Twitter or Tumblr or you know me personally, by now you know that Pacific Rim is my favorite movie of ever. It has awesome things that I look for when I turn on a thing to watch. It's got kaiju tearing through a city, it's got giant robots punching them, it's got robots with fucking elbow rockets like rocket punch. I never thought that I would see an American movie, a live action American movie with giant robots with a fucking rocket punch. I never thought there would be a director in Hollywood that would say to himself, you know what I would like to see on film? I would like to see giant robots on film, and I would like to see these robots with fucking elbow rockets. Thank you, Guillermo del Toro, for making this happen. It's so awesome. It also has fucking a sword. A sword! I mean, sword! Sword, elbow rocket, giant robots. I was there before I was there. You know, it's fucking awesome. It's a great movie. It's so much fun. It's exactly everything that you wanted to see in a summer movie. Not that Lone Ranger bullshit, not that R.I.P.D. bullshit, not any of those other fucking horrible fucking things that we've been subjected to this summer. This is the movie that we've all been waiting for, well, I've all been waiting for, that we've been waiting for all summer long. So you need to see that, one, because it's awesome and it needs more money so that we can have a sequel, but two, if you haven't seen it, none of this shit is gonna make any sense. So pause it right now, go to the theater, come back, and follow along. Eventually I will do a proper review of the film, but today I want to dispute the claim that Mako Mori is a damsel in distress. So go see the movie, come back, and follow along with me. All right, so whenever I hear people online, because you know, none of my friends talk to me this way because I would punch them in the dick, but anytime I hear somebody say that Mako is a damsel in distress, I think, man, you must have seen a different movie than I saw, because from my perspective, she's not a damsel at all. If anything, she follows kind of the classic Joseph Campbell hero arc, and without getting too deep into the weeds of the academia of heroes and mythology. And this is a very brief overview, so please feel free to fill in any of the gaps that I miss, or, you know, slam me online or whatever. But Joseph Campbell observed that many of the myths and stories of humanity follow some basic pattern for the hero's journey, where you have a hero who starts out, you know, a regular person in a hometown, whatever, and they get a call to action which takes them into an unknown realm, someplace they've never been before, and they face trials and tribulations, and they receive a boon of some kind, or like this goal, or a thing. It's usually a thing, and they bring that thing back to their hometown to distribute the benefits of this boon, or the wealth of this boon, or maybe it's knowledge or something like that. And for Mako, the way I looked at it is, her boon, the thing that she's fighting for, is becoming a Jaeger pilot. And she literally brings back the benefits of the Jaeger to Earth, because she uses the Jaeger to fucking defend humanity against the kaiju. So, you know, I found her arc to be very believable, very classic in the hero sense. And I suppose there are aspects to her character that are like, oh, will senpai notice me? Senpai notice me, oh my god! But for the most part, I found her to be, you know, very active, to have an active role in everything that occurred around her. She directed her own destiny. She was in charge of her own destiny. In your typical damsel in distress archetype, you have a character where everything happens to them and must be saved by the hero. Like, oh my god, I've been kidnapped. Oh my god, save me, save me. It's classic April O'Neil syndrome from the cartoon. I haven't seen the new one, so maybe April isn't so much of a damsel, but pretty much April or Princess Toadstool, they would get kidnapped, and then our heroes have to save her, and that happens every fucking episode ever. And I didn't think Mako had any of that to her. She didn't really, the only time she really needed to be saved was when she was a toddler carrying around her shoe in the middle of an alley because a kaiju is knocking down the walls and trying to fucking eat her. And so Pentecost comes and punches the shit out of the kaiju because he's fucking awesome. By the way, Idris Elba, I want him in every movie. So yeah, I suppose from that aspect you could say that Mako was damsel-y, but that's the beginning of her life. From that point on, she directed her destiny. She decided that instead of, you know, running away and being all meek, she wanted to help fight these kaiju. She decided that she wanted to become a pilot. So she trained and trained and trained. She had like 52 simulated kills because she was able to she's that fucking badass. She learned the ins and outs of a Jaeger. She learned how to rebuild a fucking Jaeger. It's due to her ingenuity and her rebuilding of Gypsy Danger that we have the most awesome thing in the movie. Fucking sword! Without Mako, Gypsy Danger would not have the awesome sword, and I would not be standing in the theater yelling fucking sword the entire fucking weekend. It was amazing. Fucking sword. Without Mako, there would be no fucking sword. Gypsy Danger would still be punching things and doing the haymaker things because that's how Americans probably fight in the future. They have haymakers without swords. But because of Mako, Gypsy Danger has sword. So, you know, the people who say that Mako is meek point to the fact that she backs down when Pentecost tells her that you are not to pilot the Jaeger. I don't want you piloting the Jaeger, even though you're the best and brightest in this entire fucking Shatterdome. I don't want you piloting. And I kind of interpreted that as her having absolute and total respect for Pentecost. Not only is he her father figure, but she looks up to him to learn, you know, how to be a better pilot, how to just, you know, life lessons, all of that kind of thing. I looked at it as she had utmost respect for him. So of course she's gonna do what he says, you know, even if she disagrees, because, and I don't know if that's a Japanese thing, but you know, in Japanese culture, there's the concept of honor and respect, and respecting your elders and respecting your superiors and those who've come before you. So I looked at it as that, instead of her being meek and backing down because, oh no, daddy's telling me not to do the thing. It's more along the fact of this person that I hold in utmost respect is telling me not to do a thing, and even though I completely vehemently disagree with them, I will back down because I honor them so much. And I looked at it from that perspective more than the other. So I guess Mako to me is the hero of the film, and I know it's told from the perspective of Raleigh, but you know, I really found her, I found her arc to be much more complete than any of the other characters in the film. And I would have loved to have spent more time with the Crimson Typhoon crew and the Cherno 1 crew. We barely got to see them, but for my perspective, it was good that we got to see a full arc for Mako. Yeah, so in conclusion, I totally vehemently disagree with people who think that Mako was meek, that Mako was a damsel. I totally disagree with that. She's the reason we have sword. She's the reason that the universe was saved from the kaiju invasion. She's fucking awesome. So people tell you that, tell them, look at them in the face and say, do you not understand that Mako created sword? Mako created sword. Okay? You know, if all my other arguments have holes in them, Mako created sword. Damsels don't create sword. Damsels wait for someone else to create sword. She fucking created sword. Sword. Okay. Alright, so go see the movie. If you've sat through this, without seeing the movie, now you can go see the movie, and now you can see how badass Mako is. If you've seen the movie already and forgot how awesome Mako is, go see the movie again. And if you've seen the movie and you saw to yourself, wow, that Mako chick is fucking awesome, congratulations, you saw the same movie that I saw, and it was fucking rad. So go see Pacific Rim, see it again, and fucking sword. Thank you for watching, and I'll check you later. Bye.